Hey, hi everybody. I'm Joey Florence, and as you may have already heard, Canadian Ability Foundation's Power Up program, funded by the RBC Foundation, is designed to help you uncover the hidden job market and find ways to better access opportunities. As part of our ongoing Power Up video series, I'm happy to introduce Joanna Samuels, Employment Resource Supervisor at RENA. With extensive experience as a job developer, job coach, job readiness skills workshop curriculum designer, and facilitator, and train the trainer in the supported employment and vocational rehabilitation sector, Joanna is passionate about empowering neurodivergent job seekers of all ages and backgrounds to achieve their employment, career, and educational goals. Known for fostering meaningful partnerships, Joanna collaborates with employers across various industries to support inclusive and diverse workplaces. She also works closely with community partners to create more opportunities for neurodivergent job seekers with developmental and intellectual disabilities to join the workforce. Joanna is certified personality dimensions facilitator and life skills coach and serves as RENA's monthly employment advice columnist at www.rena.org. A sought-after speaker, she has presented at conferences and panels on employment and career-related topics. Joanna is also a published author, contributing to several trade magazines and penning letters to The Job Coach, practical, no-nonsense advice from a frontliner who gets it, available on Amazon. Together today, we're going to talk about understanding today's job market, including understanding both the opportunities and challenges that young job seekers face today, including emotional and practical expectations. So thank you so much, Joanna. You are awesome. And I want to start by just asking from your own experience, what does work actually feel like today for young people who are just starting out?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. This is a very important series. Um, I'm going to present my lens on the competitive labor market. That's what I'm going to call it.
Hmm.
So there's a couple of issues that have changed. I find that every 5 years, I've been doing this kind of work with individuals, neurodivergent individuals, helping them of all ages and all backgrounds to help them find employment and keep employment. Every 5 years, the labor market changes. Most recently, from my experience since 2005, it's that minimum wage. And I'm not against minimum wage, but what's going on is it keeps climbing and climbing. So the expectations of employers also keep climbing and climbing. For $17.60 an hour, you've got to do a lot of things. You can't just package a container and put a label on. That's not going to work anymore. So
Hmm.
what happens is our job seekers, our candidates, they fall behind in the sense that they're not going to be able to do 5 million things at once. Eventually, they may be able to with a job coach. Let's just talk about retail.
Hmm.
You have to be able to open the store, close the store, do cashier, do customer service, stocking, shelving, tagging for tagging. You've got to make sure the place is clean. You've got to make sure that all the clothes are organized. And you have to be flexible with your hours, weekends, evenings. You want a job in retail? It's your dream job. That's what's expected. So
Hmm.
what's happening is it's getting harder and harder to get the job interview for entry level positions. I'm talking about, like I said, retail, for food services, cleaning, the dishwashing, packaging, warehousing. It's just something's going on that's very, very strange. And I
Hmm.
don't know what it is other than the minimum wage. I'm going to attribute something else. Employers are not reading resumes anymore manually. They're using an AI software, which they've been using for a long time. It's called the applicant tracking system. But now it seems like it's only on this applicant tracking system for entry level positions.
Okay,
So
interesting.
even if you plug in the key magic words that are in the job posting, it goes into your resume. You hope that the AI system picks up the magic words. Still not getting phone calls for
Hmm.
interviews, very, very rarely. Even when there's shortages, and employers are always crying me a river. I can't find good people. I can't find this. Oh, they don't come show up on interviews. I confirmed an interview, but those 20-year-olds, they don't show up and they don't call and they don't text. There's no communication.
Hmm.
So that's what's going on. There's so many jobs out there because I'm getting them in my inbox because I always want to keep my pulse on what's going on the competitive labor market.
Hmm.
Who's hiring? What are they hiring? What are the salaries? What do they want? What do they expect through the postings? So what's going on is right now, we used to be able to drop into a superstore after the person applied online and we helped the individual apply online. We could drop in, hey, can I speak to the manager? What's going on? They could build relationships. It's like those days are sort of over. I
Yeah.
can't drop in anymore unless you know the manager, unless you know somebody.
Interesting.
Even for, and that's what I'm fine, entry level. So
Yeah.
my colleague Tamara, who also is fantastic, she does miracle placements because after the person we applies online again with the magic words, you think dishwashing position, food prep in the back, busing, cleaning,
Hmm.
bathrooms.
So I'm curious, Joanna. We mentioned this in one of our previous interviews. You mentioned knowing people and keeping relationships. It's such an important part of the workplace, of networking, of all of these things that we talk about in this program and beyond. What are some of the best ways that you would say you can use your resources and network to do the best job development you can?
Networking also has changed.
Hmm.
Okay, so it used to be, and this is not my quote, it's who you know, but now it's who knows you. It's flipped. I'd say for the past few years, especially with the increase of the use of social media on LinkedIn, networking is very strange because sometimes even if you know the manager, it's still not necessarily going to guarantee you a slam dunk job interview.
Hmm.
The going to job fairs used to be very good use of networking. I think they're not helpful anymore. You stand in line and in the end they tell you to go apply online.
Hmm.
So if you are an aggressive, assertive person with a sales and marketing background, or you took improv at Second City and you know how to, you're not afraid of rejection and you've got that external personality, you probably could go out and meet strangers wherever you are. You go to a restaurant, you have a hamburger, and then you go to the back and I speak to the manager. Are you guys hiring? Well, as a customer, that's always gives you a little bit more leverage.
Hmm.
Family, teachers, do not be afraid to ask everybody you know, hey, I'm looking for work. I'd love to be very specific. I'm very interested in working in the kitchen. I love it's my passion. Do you know anybody looking? You know anybody I could speak to? That so I would leverage your own network. Going into stores and trying to speak to the manager, good luck. If you don't
Hmm.
know them, they'll just say go apply online.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what so I mean that's what we do as job coaches, Arena, Tamara and I. We knock on the we pound the pavement looking for potential hires,
Hmm.
people, potential employers. And every once in a while we luck out with someone with a good heart who says, yeah, we're really open to neurodivergent individuals, but I don't go in selling that they're neurodivergent. I go in
Hmm.
as a recruiter. We go
Yeah.
in with a business, when we network, we go in as business people, recruiters. We've got talent, we have people with fabulous skills, and this is what we offer. We can help you with your business needs. I don't talk about disabilities because it's really relevant. Everybody's got something.
Yeah, and I think what you said is amazing in terms of finding the strengths and focusing on the strengths in terms of how you can actually talk to people and get your name out there. So a lot of what these videos are all about is teaching young job seekers how to start. So it's a big question, but
No, it's a great question because you know
yeah,
what? You know how you start? I'm going to tell you how you start.
yeah.
You do career assessment. I don't care if you have 5 million diagnoses. You want to find out what you can do, what you can learn, what your strengths are, what your limitations are. You need to do an assessment. You can either, I know the library's got career cruising. If you have a member of a library, maybe there's an employment center who does it for free. They used to do it. I don't think they do it anymore. You want to really get some career assessment to find out. Number two is once you know what are are good jobs for you that you're going to be interested in, that's all theory. Now, what does that look like? You need to go and visit the business. You need to, if you want to work in a restaurant in the back, you need to pick up the phone and say, can I have an information interview with you, Mr. Restaurant manager, Mr. Store manager, Mr. Daycare manager, Mr. Mrs. whatever. You want to go and learn what the job is. If now the information interview is interesting because you find out, learn about all the what it's really like to work in the kitchen. Let's say you want to work in a restaurant in the food service. A lot of our individuals want to work in food services. So then you want to see what it's like. And then you can say, well, I'm not, you got to clean toilets. I'm not cleaning toilets. Well, that's not got a good job. You need to be able to work on weekends. Well, I can't work on weekends. Well, then that's not a good job for you or even a career path. So
Hmm.
you need to take your dream and find out the facts. What does that job mean? I'm dying to work at Canadian Tire. I got one individual said, okay, what do you want to do at Canadian Tire? Well, they had no clue. They've been shopping at Canadian Tire, but they never really learned about the jobs. So you
Hmm.
go into Canadian Tire, if that's your dream job, then go and talk to people. If you have to do it with a coach, do it with a coach. Look, learn, see, can I visit in the back? What do you do with all those boxes? With those, there's a special machine in the back. Look at what
Yeah.
they're doing. Ask questions.
This
If
is
you're
this is
lucky and you have
really,
a work placement at school, you're
yeah.
lucky, then you have a little bit more exposure to an unpaid experience. But that's what you do because people's expectations are often unrealistic about what they want to do. And then they go look at you can't wait for the job interview to find out what a job's like. Not going to
Mhm.
work. You got to
Mhm.
do a lot of research. You got to do your homework. You got to research the labor market. What, if you want to work in a restaurant, what are the jobs? What do you have to do? You have to do research, research, research. No different than when you're in university or college or school, when you're doing a paper, you have to do your research. Then you take the facts and then make an informed decision.
That's amazing. And I'm so, so glad you brought that up actually, because a lot of the times what I find and what you found is, people have these expectations of jobs, right? And so they want to do a specific thing at the job. But oftentimes, jobs have things that we want to do and that we don't really want to do. What are some suggestions that you would give to somebody who, let's say is working at Canadian Tire, or let's say is working at a place that, it has a lot of the things that they want, but there's some things that are part of the job that they don't really like to do, but they kind of have to do in terms of working at the job. What would you suggest?
I think the best, if you're lucky, is if you turn your hobby and your interests and your passions, which I know you've done and I've done, into a job or a career, it makes a big difference. So there's a great Chris Rock, the comedian, although he swears a lot, does a great little video, the difference between a job and a career. If you're looking for a job, survival job, you need to make money. So yeah, sometimes you just have to do what you want, what you have to do to make money. But if you're looking for a career for the long run, a meaningful, sustainable, long-term career, all the tasks and the duties and the responsibilities that you might not like, you're not wired like that because if it's your passion,
Hmm.
then yeah, you do what you have to do to get the job done. You're never working alone. You're always with other people. If it's a task or duty that you will never, ever be able to master because let's say you're not wired like that, your math is bad, your numbers are bad, but there's a whole statistical component to the job, then you have to really reevaluate either can someone else do that job? I'm talking about if you've chosen a pathway that's align with your passion. If
Hmm.
there's something that you're not good at, you might have to find out when a job interview, if there's any kind of training or help, let's say with the math, if you need reporting and you need to know Excel, and that's not something you can do, you can ever learn, you have to really, really figure out, is there more what you can do and what you're interested in, and not as much of what you can't do and what you're not interested in? Because sometimes people are not interested in a task or a duty because they can't do it.
Hmm.
It's not about a laziness or avoiding. It's because it's a part of a learning curve. So you really have to be very, very self-aware. I go back to that part, what you can do, what you can learn, your learning style. What kind of learner are you? Audio, visual, tactile? What kind of learner are you? What kind of personality are you? So you're more self-aware of your strengths and your limitations, the easier it will be to do tasks that are not really something that you like, because everything is really a learning opportunity, even the stuff that you think you don't like.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it reminds me of, something that you and I have talked about in the past of it's as important to know what you don't like as it is to know what you do like, right? It's such an important question of, okay, I've tried this, I don't really like it. What can I do next? Oh, I've tried this, I liked this part, but I didn't really like that. So that really, really resonates with me. I have one more question for you. What is something for new people coming into the workplace? What is something that you would tell them that you wish you knew before going into it?
I will reiterate, go for career testing. If you haven't done it in high school, if you did it in high school in grade 10, do it again as an adult, 18 and over after you've graduated. Again, as an exercise in self-awareness, also focusing in on your strengths and what you can do, and then choosing a career path. Don't be afraid of taking contract, seasonal, part-time jobs, because you never know, and it could always lead into permanent. That is really, really important, because people say, the individuals say, oh, I only want to work full time. Well, I only want this, I only want that. The more flexible you are, the easier it will be. You need to be able to take anything that is going to help you on in the long run for your career path. Volunteering is critical. It's not so simple to get a volunteering job, but finding a volunteer, once you know what a good career path for you is, or a job that you want, volunteer so you get experience on your resume, you get a reference, and you learn new skills, you learn how to work with other people. If you didn't, even if you had a work experience unpaid in high school, volunteering is so important. That's what I would say to anybody starting fresh, never worked before, paid job, or even people who have worked before and they got laid off and they have to start from square one, or people who are doing career changes. You don't need to have the same career for the rest of your life. I've had 10.
Yeah,
You're not married to your career. You can
yeah,
change. One thing
yeah.
can lead to the other. You can find out new stuff about yourself in your career that you thought was your dream job, and then you set new goals. No one's
Amazing.
going to stop you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's so amazing hearing from you. It's so amazing chatting with you. The work Irina does is awesome. The work you do is amazing. And I
Thanks,
just
Joey.
thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.